In March 1981, a man by the name of Morris E. Goodman had obtained his pilot's license and bought his own airplane. Goodman took a flight around Chesapeake Bay, and without any warning, the plane's engine lost power. Goodman attempted to maneuver the aircraft back toward an airstrip, but as he approached the runway, the plane flew through a low-hung set of power lines, crashed to the ground, and flipped over. Goodman broke his first and second cervical vertebrae and was left fully paralyzed. His swallow reflex was destroyed. He couldn't eat or drink. His diaphragm was destroyed. He couldn't breathe. All he could do was blink his eyes. The doctor said, "All your life you will be a vegetable. All your life you will blink your eyes." Imagine only being able to blink. That's the picture they saw him in. But it didn't matter what they thought. All that mattered was what he thought. Goodman pictured himself being a normal person again, walking out of that hospital by Christmas. The only thing that worked in the hospital was his mind. And he believed once you have your mind, you can put things back together. They hooked him up to a respirator and said he would never breathe again. But something inside him kept saying, "Breathe deep, breathe deep." Finally, he could breathe again. The doctors, as you'd expect, were out of an explanation. In the hospital, Morris could not afford to allow anything to come in his mind, to distract him from his goal and vision. His goal was to walk out of the hospital on Christmas. That was his goal. 8 months later, he walked out of the hospital on his own 2 feet. They said it couldn't be done, but he did it. Morris E. Goodman summed up his life and what people could do with their life in 6 words. Man becomes what he thinks about. You see, Morris had a straight goal in which he did not once falter from. To repair his whole body in 8 months, by Christmas, only using his mind, that's probably one of the most badass Christmas gifts I've ever heard. What I want you to take from this story, seniors, going out into the world, is that you can seriously do anything if you set your mind to it. If you set a goal and work towards that goal every single day. I'll tell you something. Ever since I was a young boy, 9, 10 years old, I set a goal that I would be valedictorian, like my great-grandfather, Sherman McAllister Kuhn. I set that goal, and I told no one about it. There was no time because I worked towards that goal every single waking day of my life. And now look at me standing here before you. I know some of you here will just drift around your life like the pollen trying to find its flower. I know some of you may never gain the willpower to achieve something greater than yourself. And that disheartens me. Because I've talked to each and every one of you. Many of you I have known for years, and in all honesty, each and every one of you here today has shocked me with hidden potential. You are in control of your own destiny, your own path. And I will tell you a trick that I've learned. You have to fill your life with tools that can get you there. You have to approach every situation with a new weapon every day. You must surround yourself with people who genuinely love and care about your well-being. You have to ingest and articulate things that heal your mind. You must eat food that makes you feel like a god. And you must do this every day with discipline. Remember, man becomes what he thinks. It reminded me of something an imam said, who I don't recall the name of. He said, every vessel, every container can only pour out what is contained in it, and that's very obvious. And so your tongue is your ability to express what lies in your spirit. Television, movies, the friends you hang out with, the music you listen to. Everything around you is environmental forces that shape who your being is and how your heart is. And when you open your mouth to speak, it is like your heart is a sponge that absorbs all of this material from around you. Essentially, what you are doing is squeezing what is in you, and what has been compiled is what, in your mind and in your memory, obviously you can only express in your heart what has been placed in it. So, in order for the outcome and the output from the tongue to be positive, the input needs to be positive, in spirits, in silence, in talking, and throughout our lives. So, this little piece is directed towards young men. And that is to respect women. Young men, you must respect women. We are living in a patriarchal society, but this does not mean we are better or blatantly can disrespect women whenever we want. It just means we are more privileged than women. Yes, we are very different. We have different bodies, voices, habits, eating powers, impulses, energies. You get the picture. But up here, in our minds, there is no difference. Now, at first, I originally wrote this whole last part to be directed to young men, because I can most relate to you. But after looking it over, I realized this applies to everyone, all young people. In America, I know at times how we all feel neglected by society, kicked to the curb like a stray dog, unwanted, lost. It can be lonely. But I want all to know you are not alone. I was very much in the same space you were, constantly looking for a mentor or mentorship from someone older than you, someone who could be a hierarchy of discipline, who could give you a sense of feeling grounded, feeling whole in your own space, your own body. But you never seem to get it. So you look for that same feeling from your peers, who are looking for it from you and their peers. It's a vicious, endless cycle that just spins. In fact, there's a quote that I think very much sums it all up, from G. Michael Humph in his book, Those Who Remain. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Are you lost? Yeah. Well, that's how young people feel. Lost. It's very much a vicious cycle. And I want you to learn 4 things from 4 great people whom I admire, that I think will help you through your journey. Remember, matter, how tiny you share of it. Time, how brief and fleeting your allotment of it. That is from Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. Having read his book, Meditations, I very much know what he means by this quote. Relax and be grateful. I'm not talking about the childish tale your parents tell you over and over. Be grateful you have food to eat when there's starving children. Yes, I know, Mom, okay? No, I'm talking about being grateful for who you are and who others are to you. This is an ancient Zulu African proverb. Ubuntu, I am a person through other people. My humanity is tied to yours. You own very little and have so little. In this world, that you must be grateful for the things you have. Look at everything negative or positive as a benefit. Gratitude shows itself from your humanity and kindness towards others, which brings me to my next piece of wisdom. Your smile for your brother is charity. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This reminds me of 9th grade in Mr. Eldridge's class. The first book we read in this class was Being Peace by Vietnamese Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh. Anyways, our end project for that book, we had to find a quote and create a sign which would be placed in the garden. I eagerly sifted through the book and found my quote. I had a clear, determined vision of what that sign was going to look like. I fulfilled that vision, and in the next few days, I went out into the garden and put our signs up. Juan's sign wasn't really a sign. It looked more like a shrine that Thich Nhat Hanh had died there. But nevertheless, we put it up in the garden between a tree. Then we put Nathan's sign above the pond. Gianna's sign we put against an archway. And Gabby's on a tree we used to play at when we were kids. And mine on a branch that looked kind of dead, which I wanted to brighten up a little. The next day, Juan's shrine disappeared. Spooky. Somebody clearly didn't like that picture. Then Nathan's sign, plop, fell in the pond. The rain absolutely destroyed Gianna's sign. A big gust of wind knocked Gabby's away. But there was mine, giving a smile to that dead branch. It fell many times, but with the help of Orlando and Dino, we put it back up. Then the rope broke, and we had to change trees. And I would go out there every now and then and clean the bird poop off. One time I could see one of the nails was coming out, but I couldn't walk around campus with a hammer. So I went to Miss Malamont and got her famous makeshift hammer and put the nail in its place. I took care of that sign. It was my charity to the school. Mystically, it stayed there above all else. It said, "Go away, you Santa Ana winds," and kept going about its business, reminding people to smile. The quote says in dark lettering, "A smile makes you master yourself." And in the bottom right, in bright, in an Asian character, it says, "Smile, laugh." You probably saw it on your way over here. If you did, I hope you smiled. My point is, just smile. You don't gotta be so tense all the time. Your smile is charity. And when you smile, this is your internal warmth being expressed from your soul, through your chest, out your mouth, and finally staying across the teeth. Youth, when you smile, genuinely smile without provocation from another, you are saying, I am at this moment content and confident with my being, and I want you to share in that confidence. In fact, this is an important lesson for all. Everyone, please repeat after me. When you smile, you are saying, I am content and confident with my being. And I want you to share in that confidence. Thank you. Not finished, but that's okay. Are we all paying attention now?
Yeah.
Nice, great, it's amazing. Side note to all the young guys out there, smiling gets all the girls. Value 3. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Jesus. When this was translated, meek didn't mean what it means now. Submissive, docile, humbly patient, even when under provocation from others. No. 300 years ago in English, meek translated to those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed. Jesus was referring to the disciplined and strong, how they shall inherit the earth. There are so many weak people out there, people who disappoint all of us. This is because they do not value strength. I humbly implore you to value strength. Value 4. Last but not least is my late grandfather, the great Sadun El-Bayati, or Grandpapa, as us grandkids like to call him. My grandfather was a famous Iraqi musician, beloved by thousands. I lived with him for many years, and he said many things, but he said more with his silence and actions than anything. Someone so profound as to teach me what it means to be great and what it means to strive for greatness. It is because of him, of what I have to live up to, that I work so hard. I work for greatness. I work to be like him. Great. You must find a goal so great that you keep going, that you keep working hard no matter what. For to yield is to surrender, and to surrender is to never have existed at all. My fellow seniors, young people, always remember to be grateful and kind. Give your smile like it's charity. Value discipline, strength as to stray far, far away from weakness. And always, always, always remember to strive for greatness. Thank you.